These are the yarns I've picked out for this project. I'm going to start with the 3.5 hook, and I need my snippers just to get me going. All of the bod balls, my oddballs in my stash. Let's see how many we can get rid of today. To begin, we are taking one of the colours, and I'm going to make my slip knot. To begin, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to bring you down. Nope. Hello. And we're going to double crochet into the 4th one along. So not that one, not that one, not that one, but that one. And we're going to double crochet into the last 3 stitches. That's 1, 2, and 3. When we get to the end, we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to kind of turn at the same time. I'm going to double crochet into the last 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're missing the first 3 and double crochet into the last 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to slip into the top of the chain 3 that we started with. So I've just spun it round the first block, and I'm just going to slip knot into there, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times into here. 1, 2, and 3. So that's my 2 rows, and because I want to change colour quite a lot for this one, I'm using all the scraps, but I want it to be quite scrappy looking, so I'm changing the colours every couple of rows, so every 2 rows to start with in the corner. I'm getting myself a right tangle with all of this, but never mind. So I'm just going to join on with my slip knot. I'll pop it in that last space there where we've just finished. It is quite loose, so I'm going to try and keep them together. I will fasten them together in a short while. So I'm going to chain 6, 1, 2, no, I'm going to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into the last 3. 1, 2, and 3. And this is quite loose because I'm changing threads. Normally I would just, if I was using scraps, I would already just randomly knot scrap yarns together, but somebody wants a specific colouring, so that's what I'm doing. Normally I would just already fasten them here and then just carry on crocheting over the knot as I go. Why did I drop that? So I've just knotted that into place then, and I'll sew all them in later. So I've confused myself now. So we're spinning our work again. I maybe should have just done that there. Oops. Right, so we've done our chain 3, and then we've double crochet into the next 3. We've come to the end, and we're going to skip into the top there. See that chain 3 that we had before? So the chain 3s are important because that's where you're heading for when you come back. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets into this. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so when you're left, you'll be able to just to see your little blocks. We're starting to form the little blocks now. So I'm going to jump right over to our last block. I'm going to chain 3 double crochets into the same gap. 1, 2, and 3. Now before we finish, I'm probably going to do this properly change my colours. Before we finish, we're going to join on our next colour, pull it through, and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a bit neater. What did I do with that end? That was a bit strange. How did that end up down there? Right. I know. Oh dear. So if I just fasten them up, I was only going to do this many, but I'll carry on showing you this row as well. So we're back to our 6. They look a bit wonky donkey there, so I'm just going to undo them. Not happy with them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn at the same time. We're going to be crocheting double crochets into the last 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, and oops, 3. You're keeping your V, this tail, towards you so you don't get lost. I have a full video of a massive, no I don't, I have a full video where I've done it all in white for a baby blanket, which is nice. I'll link that below. So we've got the gap, there's your chain 3 spaces, there's your squares. So we're going to jump into the chain 3 space, so that folds that up on itself. Then we're going to chain 3. Going to 3 double crochets. Into that chain 3 space. And bring it back up to itself. And slip stitch into there. Going to chain 3. And 3 double crochets. Slip into there and chain 3 and do our last 3 double crochets, and that's all we do. So with 6 stitches, come back 3. So I'll meet up with you shortly. I'm just going to do a few more rows, just so, because my hands are in the way and I feel like I can't show you very well because I'm all fingers and thumbs. So I'll do a couple more rows and then I'll come back to you. So I've decided with the random piecing of the yarn, I'm just gonna, as I go, looks a bit tatty, just change the colours as I go randomly rather than count how many blocks and all that palaver. So yeah, I'm just going to change it how I feel. I'm going to make it about 13, was it 13 rows? No? Oh, I have it written down. I'm sure it's maybe 36 rows altogether. So I need to turn as well when we get to halfway. So I'll carry on going for a little bit, do some more random changes of colours, and then you can see what it's looking like. And then I'll meet you back then. I'm getting a few rows in now. So yeah, it's better that I'm doing it here and then I'm pulling all the yarn ends through this side, which I'll tidy up later on, even though I'm putting a lining on the bag. I'll still tidy all the ends up. So I'm just going to snip here and fasten on the next colour. Can't do it with one hand though, so I'm going to pop that one on next. Now that we're coming to the end of my last round that I wanted to do before I turn and start decreasing rows, because I've come to this corner and it's the 36 centimeters wide that I wanted. So just make sure that you can still see this. So we're going to change tactics now. So where we just do our last stitch as normal. So we do our 3 chains and then I'm going to do 3 double crochets into that chain 3 space there. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Now normally we'd chain 6, but we're not going to. We're going to turn. And I'm going to slip stitch into the top of these and then slip into that first one, and now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to turn my work so we're coming back down the opposite side of our squares, and we're just going to 3 double crochets into the chain 3 space. So that's your 3 double crochets. And then we're going to we're going to the other side now of your chain 3. So that's it there. So we're just going to slip stitch into there and chain 3 and 3 double crochets. So when you're looking at your work, you can see the chain 3 there. So we're just going to slip into that one. So it's similar to what we've done, but we're just going back down the way now. And you have to remember that we are decreasing, so it'll be quicker because you'll be nearly finished. And you have to keep reminding yourself not to go over the edge and over crochet. But you just have to take it out if you do. So we do that all the way back down to this edge. So when I get to this edge, I will meet you back up. At this end, let me just zoom in. Do we zoom in? Yeah. At this end every time now, so you don't go past, you just stop. We'll just slip stitch into there. That's your chain 3. Turn, so we don't add on to there. And then we come back across there. Did you see that? So we're just slip stitching into the top of those, and we'll go into that full one, and then we chain 3, and then 3 crochets. And with this being all higgledy-piggledy, I will be doing a border as well. But it's just because we've got so many different, because I'm using scraps. This, the navy is quite thick. Sorry, you can hear my dog clippity clops. And then we just carry on as we were. So at each end, now we don't go right to the end. We just stop short. Well, you can see on this side now, on the next one, we'll just stop here, turn and come back. So now we're working our way across the top until we close. And I'll do a few more rows and then I'll come back to you. Right, where are we? Okay, let's do the last couple of rows. So we've worked decreasing all the way back down, and we've only got 2 rows to finish. So I'm just going to join on another colour just to that top corner and turn my work around. I'm going to do the 3 crochets and then 3 double crochets into these next couple of clusters, slip stitch to the next one, chain 3, three double crochets. Then we're just going to attach it to the end as we have been doing for the rest of the round. Turn, slip stitch back across to your chain 3 space, and into our very last square with chain 3. We're going to do 3 of your double crochets, now I've split the wool. Oh, come on. Right, going to do 3. Doesn't like that little bit. And that's the very last double crochet. So we're just going to slip into that top of the next round and just finish up there. So that is the top. Pull through. So for depending on what colour you want to do next, so I'm going to use the green. Brought it over here, and all I'm going to do now is attach anywhere, and well, attach into the corner. So I'll go into the corner with the green. I'm just going to do the slip stitch, slip knot, sorry, and then keep that on your hook and go back into your corner just off center there and join up the green, chain 1, and then just look for your next stitch going across, and then just relax your hands and pick up the stitches as you go. If you do too many, so you can miss that one because we're already there. So if I put one in there and one in there, it would be too, I would have too many stitches. So we don't want too many stitches, and we don't want it too tight and too loose. So we just relax. So I'm not going into that one there, but I'm going to pick that one there to pick up. And so that's the same. So we're just right there. If you just try and keep your work directly straight in front of you and pick out the chain right below. And we'll keep going. So here we've got to a knot. So we'll try to pick, excuse me. I'm going to try and pick, I'm losing my voice, in between. That's it. So I've picked up the two different colours there. Just so that I'm not picking one where it's a join. I'm not picking just the one colour. I'm picking the two, and that just reinforces that join. Then we can miss the rest of that out and then go into the next available space. The next available right below. That one's a bit tight, so I'll probably just miss that one and go into, I'm going to have to go into the top because that's a chain space, and I don't want to just go into a chain space. I want to go through the top one there because I want this same kind of edge. Same again here. Some of them could be a little bit awkward, but if it was too many stitches, this would be we would just have too many stitches. It would be too wavy. So I'm going to find a next available stitch. These will be tight. You just got to have a bit of patience, a bit of force. But there's not a certain number you have to have, just as long as it looks right, feels right. And we'll do this row is going to be the hardest one, and then the next row. No, I'll keep going into there. Come on. That's it. The next row will be easy because we'll just go into the top of those. So when we get to the corner, I'm just going to do 3 single crochets into the same stitch so that we can work around the corner. I will meet you back when we get to the corner. I'm just coming to the corner now. So that's the very corner. Stitch the hole, and then that's the stitch above it. So you can either go into the hole, but because I haven't done any into the holes there, I'm not going to. So I'm just going to go into the stitch 3 times. One for this row, one for the corner, and one for the row that you're going to be going on. And into the next, I'll just see what that looks like after I've done a couple. If it looks too much, I will come back. It does look a little bit, see how it's gone out there, but we are making it into a bag, so we will be stretching it out. It's nice and neat. So we're going to do that twice, and I will meet you back up when we've done that. Well, we've done our bag. We've crocheted around the outside on the sides and one row on the top. Once I get the lining in, I'm going to go around again. I've got a handle to go on. the bought one, and I'm going to put D-rings on there and put them, the bag's handles on this one, and then on the next bag I've made another one. I'm going to make it out of the fabric that I'm going to line with. So this is the fabric that I'm going to use for the lining. It looks a bit dark on the camera. See if I can lighten you up a bit. Oh, that's better. So yes, with the lining, I'll just cut it into strips and do like fold in and fold in and make the straps like that. So I'll show you what I'm going to do later. For the moment, I'm just going to open out the fabric. Got quite a bit, so I could do quite a couple of bags. I can do a couple of bags, which I've made a couple of bags anyways. I've got 2 or 3, no, I've got 4 bags to make with 2 different styles. So this is the bag itself. This is all going to be covered, so I was going to sit and sew them all in, but my lazy self said, don't do it. So I'm not doing it. So all I'm going to do now is cut the lining fabric, and I need 2 this size. And I'm just going to do a slightly bigger, so we've got like an inch maybe all the way around. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to cut around in fact, I'm going to go through 2 layers. With me having 2 bags. Okay, so I'm going to cut all the way around. You won't be able to see this part. It's quite a thick fabric, this. It's nice. Nice for a bag lining. Got your piece of fabric cut out. We're going to bring the bag together, and I'm going to, oh, actually I wanted the wrong side. So right sides together, and I'm just going to sew up or crochet up the edges like so. So I'll pop that to one side. So for the lining, I'll be just bringing the top edge down and sewing across the top, both sides. And we're doing this about an inch because we had an inch over. And then once we've done that, you can double sew it if you want, but it won't matter because it's going to be on the inside. And then keep them together, and we're going to do the seams, the side seams here, about an inch in. On both sides. I'll do that first because I want this to be in together, sewn in together. So I'll sew up the lining of the bag now. So now we're going to attach the handles first before we do the lining, just to try and keep everything neat. So I'm going to measure in 4 inches off the side and 4 inches from the top. So there, approximately there. Where have we got there? So I'm just going to put a pin there, and we'll get our strap ready to fasten in, sew on. So I've got 4 is to there, 4 to there. So that's about right. So put our handle like this and make sure there's no creases in it. We're just going to sew that into place. I'm going to use the machine, and then we'll do the opposite side and I'll come back. Once you've got your handles on your bag, before you do your lining, now you can put these together and crochet the sides, or just sew the sides down, leave the top open. So we're just going to close this same either side, and then we'll get ready to put our lining in. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I've crocheted down the sides, put them together, and I've also crocheted around the top, so it just makes it neater. Once you've crocheted the sides and then go around the top, it just finishes it off nice. So I'm going to, oh no, I want to keep it the inside out. I'm going to get the lining, and the lining needs to be in the right way, so we'll just pop that in. I've put a little tag in that I've made. Crochet's Creation. So just pop the lining in. So that's it, inside, outside in. That's the right way. And then you pop your bag into it. So you just fold your bag up and then pop it into the bottom. So just make sure that it's right down to the bottom as far as you can. Then we're going to just get corner to corner. We're going to fit it into place. So that'll just secure that. Just make sure it's pushed right down to the bottom. And when it is, it's just perfect now. So I'm going to go on the machine and sew around that bit. You can do that by hand. But just the top section. So what I'm going to do is just pin it, and I want it slightly, I want the green above it. All the way around, about that much. Just nice and neat. So we'll do that, and I'll take it to the machine now. So I've just been to the sewing machine and I've sewn it round, all the way around. I'm just going to take off any little pieces of thread, any strays, just tidying it up. Okay, and then that's the stitching from the outside. Grab the bottom. Let's see what we've got. And there we go. So all I've got to do now is I'm going to put on this one a little clasp on the inside, so we'll do that next. here we are. We've got our little fasteners sewn in. So we can get that fastened. Next little magnetised one. It's hard to do with the left hand. There we go. So that's it done. Loved it so much. I made another, slightly smaller.